What's up, guys? Kyle here again, and today is going to be a very different type of video for me. In fact, it's not guitar gear related or music or, it's not related to anything that I normally do on this channel at all, but I really do feel compelled to just say something. I don't know, because frankly, it's a very scary time that we're living in right now. It's a very violent time and a very divisive time, and it seems like the wedge that is being driven in between everybody is only getting hammered further and further in when it has to be the opposite. It's got to go the other way. So with recent events, and I'm not even sure what I can and can't say, thanks to YouTube and their censorship, it really does feel like a tipping point in our society. Within the last couple of weeks, the amount of things that have changed or been enacted or been taken away is pretty crazy. And it really just feels like most people are just digging in their heels and basically refusing to budge on the things that they believe. They're basically just going down the rabbit hole of anything that will confirm their own biases. I mean, that's what's really been happening for the last 10 to 12 years anyways, but in the last couple weeks, man, it's just gone off the rails. Now, I've been trying to do my best at keeping off of social media because honestly, for the longest time, like, social media has been wildly depressing for me. And as somebody who makes their living off of social media now, that really sucks, but it's the truth. And I'm not just talking about people making wildly divisive political posts, nor am I talking about the inevitably, chaotic and hostile nature of the comment threads under those divisive posts, but I'm talking about a theme that I've seen for a long time, and that is that people are becoming more and more used to basically not interacting with people in person, and they're becoming more and more comfortable with showing their worst sides on social media because frankly, there aren't really any repercussions. Even as something as simple as like MMA pages, because I'm a big MMA fan, I follow the sport and I like to read about stuff, but like if somebody posts an article on Facebook and I go down into the comment sections, it's just every comment is just an absolute war between people who don't agree with each other. And they take it to the worst possible extremes every single time. And that's on something as simple as MMA, as sports. So when you take that and you apply it to anything politically related or ideology related or religion related, that is only going to be magnified, and it's much more personal because these are the things that people believe deeply. So naturally, they're gonna have the urge to defend their position, to defend their beliefs, to confirm their biases. And I understand that. I mean, that's human nature. We are a very tribal species. We have been like that since the beginning, and who knows if that'll ever be worked out of our DNA. Doesn't really seem like it. Seems like we're gonna go in the opposite direction, if I'm being honest. And the fact that you can't have a normal conversation anymore where ideas and beliefs can be exchanged with any sort of respect, and that's putting it lightly considering that most of these conversations just devolved into pure hostility, like, genuinely makes me really sad. There are people in my life who have meant a lot to me over the years who I've basically just had to disassociate with. And it's not simply because we were on opposite sides of the fence or something silly like that. It's because I'm essentially seeing people lose their basic human decency over Facebook arguments. I've been called terrible things by people that I loved simply because I believe in basic human decency, and I was trying to have that conversation with them and they didn't want to hear it. And honestly, for the last 4 or 5 years, I have just completely avoided talking anything ideology or politics related on social media because what's the point? People are no longer willing to have real conversations. They either want to lock themselves in an echo chamber where everybody agrees with them and it basically creates an extremely narrow and warped worldview, or they want to spend all their energy online arguing with someone who has no intention of seeing anything any other way than the way that they see it. So I really did say a long time ago, what's the point, man? What's the point? I'm not gonna waste my energy. I'm not gonna fuel my anxiety by trying to argue with somebody who has absolutely no intention of hearing anything that I have to say. And I've actually stated this a couple times on social media, and I've been called a coward and a fence sitter simply because I'm not willing to put myself out there on a platform that is going to make absolutely zero difference, no matter how much effort I put in trying to change people's minds who disagree with me. And while there are fringe cases of people's minds being changed through social media arguments, I mean, can anyone really honestly say they've had a productive political discussion on social media? If they can, I bet you those numbers are very few. And this is honestly something that I thought would maybe fade out over time. I didn't think that it would continue to get worse and worse, but boy, was I wrong. Was I so wrong? Because it's gotten to a point where I'm legitimately scared for our future. And I'm sure people will call me an alarmist, or I don't know, all sorts of other language that people love to use to try and tear somebody down. But for real, man, it's a scary world out there. So recently, I have just taken all of that energy that I used to sink into social media, because I absolutely was part of the problem for a short time, but I realized pretty quickly the reality of the situation and backed off. But to act like I was above all this from the beginning is not true, man. I participated in a lot of the stuff that I now completely despise, and I hate that. But we have to have self-awareness. We have to have the ability to look inward, to look at ourselves. And most importantly, we have to have the ability to put ourselves in other people's shoes. And I think that that is what is being lost on so many people in modern society today. Because when it comes to actual real relationships with real people, face to face, that is becoming less and less a part of our reality as more and more people become chronically online. And when you're chronically online, it is not hard to find yourself being pushed into an algorithm that is essentially like trying to radicalize you one way or the other. I've actually watched some pretty eye-opening videos on this fact, and it has to do with a lot of different things. But if there's one thing that's for sure, the algorithm is going to try to keep you online and engaged for as long as it possibly can. And the easiest thing that it can provide to you to do that is to essentially force feed you negative or radical content, because that is the stuff that people respond to. And like I said, I am guilty of this. It's something that I have very, very much tried to work on. But again, with some introspection, I realized, even likening it to my YouTube channel, like I can get 100 positive comments, and those comments are great, and I feel good about them, and I appreciate every single person who supports me in this journey, who supports me in what I do. Like, that stuff is not lost on me at all. But the emotional, the physical reaction to reading 100 positive comments and then coming across that one negative comment, it can't be ignored. And I am no expert in human psychology, but from everything that I've read, there is a lot of science to back that up. The humans react far more emotionally and aggressively to negative things than they do to positive things. And I really think that we all need to realize that. But if you're not thinking about this stuff, if you're not reflecting on the actions that you take every single day and what effect they have on you and your overall health and your overall life, as trivial as it seems, those actions have consequences to everyone around you, and even more. Like, what are you doing, man? I say this all the time to people. I think most people have a severe lack of self-awareness. They have a severe lack of introspection. So many people see problems in the world, and all they want to do is rush to the fastest thing that they can point their finger at that isn't them to blame everything on. When in reality, most of us are part of the problem. Most of us are reaping what we sow. Most of us are making zero effort to actually look at what is going on with ourselves and around us and see how it's affecting everybody else, and to dig ourselves out of this hole that, if you really look at it, has mostly been created by social media. I thought social media was an amazing thing when it came around, and it was. It created so many new opportunities to meet people that you would never ever have the opportunity to meet before. Created opportunities to network. It created opportunities for people like me, who were destined to do nothing but work an average day job 9 to 5, but yet somehow was able to carve my own path doing something that I loved, doing it the way that I want to do it, on my terms, on my schedule, and not having to answer to anyone but myself. And that opportunity has been created for so many other people. So I am eternally grateful. The landscape of what is possible now with social media for the average person, there really is a lot of good to be taken from it. But of course, with anything in this world, if there is an opportunity for the people on top to exploit something for their gain at the cost of you and me, it's gonna happen. It's inevitable. And let's face it, everything that is going on right now, I'm gonna put on my tinfoil hat for a second, but I really don't think that it's even conspiracy talk at this point. I think it's common knowledge. The people at the top want you and me to hate each other. They want us to bicker. They want us to fight because they want us to be distracted so that while you and I are having our stupid little Facebook argument over the most trivial possible thing, they're in the background changing how everything in this world works and changing it to benefit them at the detriment of us. So yeah, I mean, all of this just to say, I have been taking my time and my energy and basically pulling as much of that away from social media as I possibly can and trying to put it into my real life. And I've been making an effort to hug my dogs more often, to spend more time with my fiance where we're not doom scrolling away, sitting on the couch, being completely disconnected. Because I think for most people, that's a big part of their reality these days, and it's a big part of the problem. And most importantly, I've been making an effort to tell the people in my life who matter that I love them and that they're important to me, and that if they need anything, I'm here for them. And that even goes to people who share different political beliefs than I do, who have different ideology than I do. Because the only way that we're going to be able to like pull ourselves out of everything that's going on is to try and extend an olive branch, to have logical, calm conversations, to open our minds to other way of thinking and putting ourselves in other people's shoes. Because in my personal opinion, that's what good people do. Good people want good things to happen to other people. Good people want to do good things for other people, to lift them up when they're down instead of kicking them. Good people want to see the error in their ways, to look inside of themselves and see what it is wrong or off base or causing pain for the people around them. And I think that the idea of just basic human decency, it's become more rare than not. And again, that brings me down every time I think about it. So yeah, I have no idea how this video is gonna be received. I don't even know why I felt compelled to make it. I don't know, maybe coming from somebody that you wouldn't expect would have more of an impact or something. I truly don't know, but I did feel compelled to say something. I have an audience and a platform, and even though it's small, it is never ever lost on me when somebody comments on a video or messages me on Facebook or emails me and tells me that anything that I'm doing has had any sort of positive influence on them. That stuff means the world to me. It means the world to me to have a platform where I can try to help people, even if it's something as trivial as guitar equipment. Because let's face it, none of this shit matters. It doesn't. And honestly, if things keep going the way that they do, it might truly not matter at all. And I know that sounds extreme and alarmist, but I believe it. I believe that if we don't fix ourselves as a society, if we don't fix ourselves as individual human beings, we are not long for this world. And I don't want that to be the truth. Because as harsh and as terrible as this world is and can be, there are a lot of amazing, beautiful things about this world. And there are a lot of things that make life worth living and make the human experience amazing. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Just, I'll leave you guys by saying, stop pointing the finger. Take a look at yourself. If you are a person who's constantly pointing the finger, is this really who you want to be? Do you really not want to take responsibility for anything and just sit back and watch as the world falls apart? Or do you want to be the type of person that can look around and see problems with the world and realize that the most impactful thing that you can do, the most change that you can bring to this world starts with yourself? Not on Facebook, not on Twitter. It starts by looking at yourself as a person. And I mean, really, really looking at yourself, all the good, all the ugly, and doing everything that you can to be the best version of yourself, not only for yourself, but for all the people around you. Because I truly feel like if we can start to do just that, that the world will become a better place. Thanks for watching.